After years of being told that MVZ2 is the greatest fighting game of all time, it is the greatest crossover fighter ever, it features a wide cast of memorable characters from Marvel and Capcom in the 90s when neither of those brands were particularly relevant. This was supposed to be a big deal. This was supposed to be a major game on Dreamcast, a major arcade re-release. This is one of the greatest fighting games of all time, re-released on Nintendo Switch, and it is a complete and total bomb, and nobody is talking about it or playing it. That's right, MVZ2 was only hyped up by delusional Marvel fanboys, people who grew up playing this in the arcade and not better fighting games like Mortal Kombat 2 or Super Smash Bros. Right? MVC is a complete joke. Nowhere near on the level of quality that people made it out to be back in the day, right? Fighting games have far outclassed what they were in the 90s. You know, Soul Calibur 2 was better than this. Super Smash Bros. Melee was better than this. You know, Tekken 7 is better than this, right? What exactly makes MVC2 so spectacular? It was cool seeing all these X-Men characters fight each other. Okay, you're a man child. Get over yourself. That doesn't make the game good. Needs to be said, needs to be understood, is that Capcom's history in the fighting game community is a complete and total farce. Nothing they produce is good. Nothing has any value, right? They peaked with Street Fighter 2, and there has been no innovation since then outside of superior Nintendo platforms. When I think of modern day fighting games, when I think of major success stories, when I think of the most popular crossover fighter in gaming, I don't think of Marvel versus Capcom 2. I think of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I think of characters from every single video game IP in existence. You know, Mario, Link, Samus, Captain Falcon, Kirby, Marth, right? All in a fighting game together with all of their movesets pulled directly from their games in a glorious homage to Nintendo's glorious history in gaming. The Super Smash Bros. Ultimate by itself demonstrates just how much Nintendo has contributed to the gaming sphere, right? All of these characters are so much more iconic and relevant than anything Marvel or Capcom has ever done. And more are being added all the time. The DLC expansion includes characters like Sora and Sephiroth, right? You know, characters that far outclass anyone from the Capcom or Marvel lineup, right? Like again, the game is unique, it's fun to play, it has a lot going on, it's way more competitive. There's way more variety in modes, a way better single gameplay. Like what exactly made MVC2 so spectacular outside of Marvel, right? Like what exactly made it so good? Again, like Marvel versus Capcom, you know, not two, not the original, not three, not Infinite, like the entire franchise, nothing they could possibly do can match up the Super Smash Bros. Right? Uh, like they could get all the live action actors, you know, all the Hollywood shills. They could get like Brie Larson, like they could do all these like mega personalities. They could all have them all in the game together, playing their characters, right? You know, Marvel versus Capcom, the movie, the game, right? They could legit do it. Still wouldn't do as well as Super Smash Bros. Right? There is nothing they could possibly do to, to compete with Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, right? Nothing they can do. Marvel is just not as big as Nintendo is. Capcom, of course, is not as big as Nintendo is. And with that being said, what does this mean for the future of fighting games? If Super Smash Bros. Is the biggest and best fighting game in the industry, in history, then what does that mean going forward for Nintendo and for other companies? It means that people are moving away from the traditional fighting game format, the really boring Street Fighter 2, like I kick you until you die format, and they're going for some games that are much more in depth, games that have a lot more going on, games like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and ARMS. ARMS on Nintendo Switch far outperformed most other fighting games in recent memory. This game delivered with its unique mechanics, great gameplay, memorable characters. Min Min is now in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Um, Surprisingly complex lore and a really good Pixar-like aesthetic, which is far more appealing than Overwatch's knockoff copy. ARMS is a really good demonstration of just what the future of fighting games is going to look like. Is that they are going to evolve past this meager, boring, generic 1v1 just setup and becoming something more. Throwing in mini games, having multiple play styles per character, giving characters weapons that you can mix and match in a rock paper scissors style. Like ARMS has like all of these really cool aspects to it. The fact that you can curve your punches around objects in the environment is it's something that no other fighting game can really even come close to matching. Especially not one as shallow and boring as Marvel versus Capcom 2. Right? That's just the reality of the situation is that Nintendo with its new IPs is going to far outstrip the irrelevant ancient titles of yesteryear. We need to move past Marvel vs. Capcom 2. We need to move past Mortal Kombat, and we need to accept our glorious new fighting game future exclusively on Nintendo hardware.